Hello and welcome everyone, this is Dmitry and we are having another network programmability stream. This is part 23. Today we are going to explore one interesting library, one interesting product which started deep in Cisco engineering, mainly for Cisco internal purposes. But since I think December last year, it's available for everyone, and it's called pyats. So in general, the idea behind this project was to provide a way to be able to provide a way to test network devices, different features, and so on. So to quickly spin up a bunch of devices, to quickly something configure, to quickly test things, and so on. So there is a lot of stuff in this framework. We are going to talk about it in more details during the stream. So today I think we are going to explore just part of it. So obviously not everything. Before we do that, as usual, couple of news, couple of announcements. So last time we were contributing to Nornir, which is Python automation framework features which I really like. So we were writing some code live, and then at the very end I submitted PR. So then after the stream I was trying to fix what was wrong there and adding tests. And just 2 days, or I think like 3 days after I did that, it got merged into Nornir. So, I thought it would be nice to share with you guys. So the actual stuff that I'm doing, sometimes it actually gets upstream merged. So this PR is right here, 235, it got merged. So yeah, so you will be able to use this kind of functionality in upcoming release 2.0. So I'm very excited to work on Nornir. I do try to contribute, well, as much as I can. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of free time, but if I do, I try to do it. I try to improve it. So I was also working on logging issues there to make sure this logging is configured correctly, and I submitted another PR which is not yet merged, but yeah, at some point I think it will. So yeah, some good news here. Another couple of things. This week I was reading more and doing some hands-on testing of poetry, and I already mentioned poetry some streams ago, like maybe a couple streams ago. And before poetry I was using pipenv, and at some point, okay, let me start from the beginning, because maybe some of you don't know what is pipenv or what is poetry. So both pipenv and poetry, those are Python dependency management tools, and the idea that you declare your top level dependencies, and then the tool itself will record all of the top level and lower level transitional dependencies with their exact versions, so they are pinned to specific versions, which means that by doing that you can get reproducible environments. Poetry on pipenv and poetry are doing both are doing that. Poetry though can also be used for Python packaging. So using poetry you can also replace not only requirements.txt, that is mostly used for applications, but you can also replace setup.py. And from my perspective, it's really a big deal. Setup.py, in general, describing your build in Python file, I don't think it's a great idea. So there you declare your dependencies and your build settings declaratively, and then it can build a package for you. It can even publish it to PyAPI. So at the very beginning, I was using pipenv for quite a while, for several months, but due to a lot of reasons, I gave up on the tool. Yeah, so and I was looking for alternatives, so I stumbled upon Poetry. I started using it. Now this week I spent more time with it, and I do really think it has a great API and great user experience, even though I wouldn't say it's like super mature or anything. I think it's still early, but the tool has only one maintainer really. So, but regardless, I really like how you can use it, and I started using it for one of the current projects that I'm doing. So I do recommend you guys, if either writing setup.py file or doing reproducible environments for your application is a pain for you, which is a pain in my case, I would strongly recommend you guys to check out Poetry. And it's funny, just quick fact, the fact that how I discovered this project was the maintainer of competitive project, which is pipenv, on Reddit wrote a message trying to discredit Poetry project, and this is how I learned about this project. So quite funny. Okay, so this is about Poetry. Another one is Pydantic. So this one is also, I think, extremely useful project. I started using it at work for some of my work projects, and also I couldn't be happier. So the idea behind Pydantic, and let me pull up the docs here. The idea behind Pydantic is you define your data as a class model. So you specify like class, and it inherits from Pydantic base model, and then you can specify your attributes for this model and their types using Python 3.6 syntax, as well as default values and stuff like that. And what it will do for you, if you pass a dictionary, it will validate the data. So it will not only assign like when you pass ID parameter, it will assign this ID to ID. It will also validate that that data can be converted to this type. Okay, so if you specify that ID should be int and you pass string here, which is not int convertible, then it will yell at you. So you can do stuff like this. So you can obviously like convert date very easily, so you don't even have to do anything. So here, for example, you specify that it's type datetime, you pass the date as a string, and then it will convert it for you. So you can do stuff like this. You can create an actual schema, either as dictionary or as JSON. Pretty cool. So you can deserialize data and serialize it back to something like JSON. And it also validates stuff like lists and dicts as well. So I do think it's a pretty cool idea. And as I told you, I started using it at work, and it made my code more concise, and I really like the end result. So I do encourage you guys to check it out. If you ever have a need to, let's say you get some API response, okay, and you want to deal with the data as a Python object and validate the data that you're getting, this is it. So I would definitely encourage you to check this project out. Very similar, very similar task is very similar use cases when you also have like a config file for your project where you have some attributes and so on. I would also encourage you to use this to validate that the data that was passed by config file is actually correct data, and if not, it will yell at you with the exception. So it has so many different capabilities, and yeah, I'm happy to use it. So okay, another thing is viral and viral utils. We already talked about viral utils at some stream, but the reason I bring it up again is this week I had to reinstall the viral from scratch on one of my viral machines. It was running extremely old viral version, and I had some problems with disk there, so I made the decision to reinstall everything from scratch. And I have been using, well, I tried viral since before 1.0, so it's really a long time, more than 3 years ago. And I remember how much pain was installing it back then, and I was happy to discover that it's no longer true. So I literally did the whole process, I think maybe within 10 minutes, and there wasn't any problems. And once I got it up and running, I was just clicked update to update all the images. And I also was very pleasantly surprised that you get the very latest images. So you get 16.9.1 CSR, ASXR 9KV 6.5, and some other latest images. So yeah, pleasant surprise. Hey Quentin, another thing is viral utils. I do not know, guys, if you have ever seen this project or not, but I also think this is a Python library, okay? This is a Python library to interact with viral, let me reply to the chat here. So using viral utils, you can control your viral server via CLI, and I do believe it's a game changer for any kind of CI/CD. So, for example, almost every demo that you will see on DevNet or by either attending DevNet workshop or something like this will use viral utils to spin up the environment. Basically, you can take a viral file, or you can get you can specify the viral file from like Git repo or something, and it will basically spin up the viral topology for you. There are some additional capabilities. I saw that you can create automatically inventory for Ansible. You can create a testbed for pyats, the project that we are going to explore today. You can automatically import devices to NSO using these viral utils. So it's really great, especially for this kind of developer workflows where you would like to do everything on CLI. You don't want a human to go to GUI and then spin up the topology for you, stuff like that. Everything you can actually, in your workflow, you can spin up your topology, you can do your testing, well, you can do your code deployment or code automation, whatever you're having. You can do tests, and then you can tear down the environment. Do you know if viral utils works with CML? Yes, it does. So it's using viral API, and it's the same as in CML. I do not know if you watched the stream before or not, but I also started writing Gen3 utils. It's very early in its development. Unfortunately I don't have a lot of time to finish it, but the idea was very similar to viral utils. Maybe at some point in the future I will finish working on that. And the last piece about viral is at Cisco Live there was a demo about viral NG, next generation viral. I didn't have a chance to actually play with it. I was shown very small video, and then I had to leave. But it looks very interesting. As far as I understood, it was written from scratch, and it looked very cool. So why I'm mentioning this here? Right now they don't give any like beta even internally, but if I get access to like a beta version of viral NG, and if I get a permission to show it on the stream, you guys will be able to see it. So yeah, but at this point I can't really promise, but I am looking forward to seeing to trying it out. Another thing is Gitpod. Okay, so Gitpod is a project that was announced and released this week, and I do think it's a big deal. So the idea here is very simple. It's online ID for GitHub, and it's very similar to Visual Studio Code. Not exactly the same, but very similar. And I looked on the demo on video, it looked awesome, and I know that one of my friends started using it very actively, and everything I heard from her were great impressions. I started using it. I didn't have to spend a lot of time on it yet, but I can actually try showing it to you. So once you log in and you install the extension, on every page on the GitHub, you get a button Gitpod, and depending on the context, so like you can open an issue, and you can click on Gitpod. You will get the online IDE, and it's also spin up in container, and you have access to terminal as well. So you can install stuff in this container. You can test your code in this container. One of the very cool features was you open up a pull request which was submitted by someone else, and you would like to understand what is happening in that pull request. So you open, let me see if this got loaded. Yeah, so this got loaded, and here you see I have my whole repo in the current state, and you can write your code. Here you have your terminal, so you can pip install something like pip install pydantic, for example. So I just installed pydantic in this container, and I can say like Python import Nornir from here directly, and I have it here. So I can write my code in full-blown IDE, and I can test it directly, and then with just one click you can do like pull request, you can commit, and you can create pull request for the project. If you click on like pull requests, let me do this here. I think especially for pull request, it's just a game changer. So let me see. Okay, so this is my PRs that I submitted about logging, and you already see it brings up this div window. You see what are the changes in the pull requests. You can obviously change anything you want here, and you can also add comments directly from here as well. So I was really amazed by things that they were thinking about while developing this. It's obviously it's like beta, so they just got this got available like 5 days ago, so it's in like early, but even in this stage it feels super awesome. So if you guys do any kind of work on GitHub, this may be a great idea to look at. And you have all of your shortcuts as well, so, and you can change configuration and so on and so forth. So check it out. Okay, and the last piece, the last news for today is at work I'm writing in Python API wrapper for one of Cisco leading products in enterprise space. I can't tell you more at this point, maybe, but you may have seen some of the questions that I was asking potential users. So again, I also don't have a date, but it's in very active development because I really need to interact with that API a lot for my work project. And I was thinking about it, and once it's in at some solid stage, I'm going to publish it externally, so that everyone can leverage that. So it will not stay only as Cisco internal library. So yeah, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably will see an announcement once some version of this wrapper of this library is ready. That said, it's not going to be just like reflection of API available. There will be also like different workflows. Like, for example, an API can get you a list of objects and with IDs and maybe names, but you would like to get an actual details of every object. So by using like list or something like this, you can actually get details for every single object. Or you can do stuff like import and export, and obviously everything will be like a Python object. You don't have to deal really with a raw JSON or anything like that. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but I mostly finished with like initial design phase for API, and I did some prototype already, but there is still obviously a lot of work to be done. Okay, this is it from news perspective. In some announcements, let's get into today's topic. So it's PyTS, Python networking test framework. So let me tell you briefly what I know, and unfortunately I don't know much about it, even though it's was developed internally at Cisco. There are just so many tools right now that it's really hard to know everything. So yeah, I know just briefly about it. So I got introduced into this project, I think, at Cisco Live Barcelona this year in February, I guess. And I was actually amazed by what they offer. The general idea to create this project was for our internal BU, for our internal developers, to be able to test code on a test bed, either virtual or physical, very quickly, and understand, if everything is working as expected after new commit or new feature. So here is what I saw, and I saw a couple of different pieces of this framework. First, I saw that you are able to interact with all Cisco devices, and at least I was looking on IS, Nexus, and XR in vendor independent way using Python. So this was one piece. It was doing configuration extremely fast. From one person I heard that they are using actually async. I don't know if it's actually true, I haven't checked myself, but we were seeing exactly that it was really super fast regardless of the number of devices. So what else it does, it gets you structured data from devices, again in vendor independent way, kind of like Napalm but much more sophisticated. And so like you say device, get interfaces, and then you get all the details about interfaces. So, and I saw a code for some of their parsers, and they really were doing a lot of work to make that work. So like you get so many details that you get from show commands. So this is another piece. So structured data, vendor independent structured data, vendor independent. It shouldn't say vendor independent if by default implemented everything for Cisco. I should say, I guess, platform agnostic. Yeah, let's put platform agnostic. Platform agnostic configuration. Another piece was integration with robot framework. And if you guys have never seen robot, I have seen it, but I haven't used it, I must tell you. But the idea there is that you define your tests in plain English. So you say something like verify 6 OSPF neighbors on device X or something like this. So you actually write your tests in English, which I think is super cool. And they have integration with robot framework where there are these keywords already integrated. So you can say something like this, or you can say verify 10 routes, 10 BGP routes in the routing table, something like this. So I saw that piece, and I think there are many more other things, but I just haven't had a chance to see it. Now I must give you a disclaimer before we start writing code. I have never really done it myself. I haven't really touched this framework myself ever. So this today is going to be my really first time I am trying to use this framework, and I have no idea, if it will work out or not. What this also means is that I may say something that is not true, mainly just because I don't know. Okay, I'm not developer of this project. I have never tried it in my life before, so yeah, I may say something that is not true. Not because I have bad intentions, but just because I don't know. But I do hope we are going to get to learn something new today and see how it works. Okay, so let me kill a couple of tabs here, tabs that are not relevant. So there are two main pages for PyTS if you want to get started with this. So there is main DevNet PyTS landing page, which is here. So, you know, there is a video from Raymond Hettinger. There are some key features. There are some links and so on and so forth. Oh, there is PyTS forum. Let me bring the forum as well. I haven't seen it. I don't think it's very active, but there are two links here. Okay, and then there is another piece which is docs. So there is landing page and there is docs page, and you see there is a lot of stuff. Let me see this asynchronous library. Oh, so they actually seem to have something. Actually, no, I don't. It doesn't seem that they use async.io, but they do use threading though. Okay, let's park it for now. So landing page and docs page. Now I found a bunch of links from landing page to different repos with some samples. So most likely we are going to do that to try to replicate. And also my friend at Cisco, his name is Kevin Corbin. Thanks to him, he also gave me a couple of links that he suggested to get started with the framework. So I would like to thank him for doing that. So he shared with me one internal and one external link. So there is this pyats-intro. I actually think we are going to start with that because I trust his opinion. There is a Python playbook, and he also sent to me this link for a small ASCII cinema, and I think it would be a good idea to play it live. It's I think like 1 or 2 minutes, and it's kind of showcasing some very basic capabilities of the framework. So let's actually go ahead and do that right now, and then we will start by writing the code. And you know what? Let me bring up the smaller window. Okay, so I will just run this. Maybe I will try to do some commentary because there is no sound. Okay, so it seems we are activating virtual environment. Then we are writing a script and specifying device name. So then they say, okay, PyTS and Genie are about to profile the device and create the structured data for you. Okay, so then something is happening. I see some short commands outputs here. Okay, let me pause it here. So it says, Genie was busy profiling. You can interact with your device either using device or device name. We specified with -- device. You can start by exploring some of the command operations available for the device using the device. Okay, so you can you can just explore the methods available on the Python object here. Giving you a minute to read that. Okay, and I see now that we are in IPython prompt. So now you see that you can say interfaces dot info and you get the structured data in like Python dictionary. You can execute show commands directly. So this particular part feels really similar to like NetMiko. Let me see on configuration. Okay, so this is just CLI based configuration here. So then you get some object. This is HSRP, and then you can actually get like show commands from it, I guess. And also you get structured data for HSRP. Okay. So this last piece looks very interesting. Like for a feature you get structured data. So I'd like to get that working. Let's go ahead and do some analysis. So I have his repo here. KE Corbin pyats-intro. So let me see. So there is YAML file to describe a testbed, which I guess I will have to do something very similar. Let me actually go ahead and copy some of this. I will not do git clone because I already have my repo here. So I will bring up my my PyCharm here, and let's create a new directory. Let's call it pyats. And let's do intro. Okay, so let's just create a testbed.yaml. This is also, guys, how I advise you to start with any project that you don't know. Find some either like lab or blog post or tutorial and just try to go through it step by step before you even go to docs or something like this. So once you get it working, then go to docs and start exploring what else can it do for you. Okay, there's a question, where can we find PyTS source code? Good question, and I do not know the answer to it on top of my head. But I do know a couple of pieces. I know that it's not 100% open source. There are part of the framework that are open source and part of the framework which is not open source. This is the only thing I know about code being available. So I do not know where the code is, unfortunately. Oh, actually, it's right here. Cisco. Oh no, this is just test framework bug tracker. You can install it by pip install pyats though. And you know what? We are just going to go ahead and do it. So testbed YAML. What did I do? No, this is obviously wrong. And I have to tell you guys, there's another piece. Well, I don't know if you know about this or not, but if you write code in Python and it's available via PyAPIs like a wheel or something, or sdist, this both wheel and sdist are Python packages, and you install it and it doesn't have any kind of C extensions, then you can look through all of the open source code anyway. So I can install it via PyAPI. Really? Interesting. Let me go ahead and try it. maybe we will also not be able to install it, and then the whole stream I will be just me saying some things and that's all. So okay, we are in my directory. I think we have to source our virtual environment. For today's stream, I'm not going to use poetry. I think for some reason it's right here. So poetry using this PyProject toml file. No, I don't want to deal with this right now. Okay, so let's activate this virtual environment. Let's do pip freeze to see what is installed. A lot of stuff is installed right here. Let's go ahead and do pip install pyats. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and do the following. So Python 2. Okay, so pyenv global 2715 15 Python. So it's Python 2. And now I can say Python. No, I can do it like this. I should say virtual env pyenv 2. I don't think this did what it's supposed to do. Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and do this again. So rm minus ref venv py2. Okay, so Python minus m virtual env venv py2. Okay, this seemed to work. lsla so ls venv py2 bin. Okay, I have Python 2 now here. Okay, let's go ahead and, well, let's do this. Pip install requests, just to make sure that everything here is correct. Pip install minus u pip as well to update the pip. And let's do Python. Oh, I'm sorry guys, I didn't do it correctly. So I didn't activate it. So bin activate. So pip install u pip. Pip install requests. Okay. So now if I say Python, I should get Python 2 and I should be able to import requests, which I can. Okay, so for this work, now I have to say pip install pyats. Okay, this doesn't work either. Interesting. So okay, this doesn't work. Let me see. Python PyAPI. I do see the framework here. install pyats. So why it's not working now? 4.10 download files. There is view file for macOS for Python 3.6. Okay, so Python 3.4, 3.5 and 3.6 view file for macOS. And there is no view for Python 3.7. Okay, let's go ahead and try doing this again. So venv, first I have to deactivate. And now I have to source venv activate, and I have to say Python. What is wrong with my typing skills today? Python. Okay, here I'm using Python 3.7, so let's create a Python 3.6 environment. So it will be Python. It will be pyenv global 3.6 6. So now it will be Python minus venv py 3.6. Okay, now source venv py 3.6 bin activate. I am horrible with typing today. Pip. First, let's go ahead and check that this is Python 3.6. It is. Pip install requests, just because. And let's also update pip. Okay. And now I should be able to say pip install pyats. Okay, now it works. Perfect. Okay, so the issue was that I had Python 3.7 and I tested on Python 3.7 and on Python 2.7. And well, both of these for both of these versions there is no view file, so you can install those. So you know what I'm thinking? If there is an issue like this, well, I don't understand why they support Python 3.4 plus only, but pyats issue tracker. So let's go ahead, and if it's an issue tracker, we are going to create an issue. Add wheel for Python 3.7. Let's be good citizens. Okay. To API. Okay. Add wheel for Python 3.7 to PyAPI. Perfect. We don't need that anymore. There is this repo for 101, but I think we agreed that I'm going to use this another. Did I just close it? I did close it, didn't I? Oh no, it's right here. Okay. So if you really guys want to know the source code, I think I should be able to do it now. So if I say venv py 3.6, maybe if there are no extensions. So if I say, actually, I don't think I will be able to do it. Because yeah, you will not be able to see the source code here. Actually, yeah, so yeah, unfortunately I will not be able to do it because all those are C Python extensions. So it is just a binary file. You can't open it. Okay. So I think for plugins there is a repo, but not for the core though. Okay. Let's go ahead and try replicating the tutorial. So I do have so I don't use the Genie.3 today. I didn't have time to build a topology with like Nexus and CSR and all this stuff. So, but and also like when I do initial tutorial, I really like to be able to do all the tests directly from my machine. But since my Genie.3 server is remote, I will not have direct access to an exact network devices, so only through something like SSH proxy or something like this, but I haven't set it up yet. So, but in this case, I do have my static CSRs also in the lab, to which I have direct IP connectivity, so I can always run tests from my computer. So for today's stream, I'm not going to spin up like topology with different devices. We are just going to have a bunch of CSRs. So I have my CSR def, which I always use for tests. Let me get its IP address. So it's 10, it ends with 30. And I guess I can use, let me use another one, CSR3, which version is running? Okay, it's running 16.8.1. So I'm going to use CSR def and CSR3 for today, or maybe only one, we'll see. So I need this and I need that. Okay. So let's go ahead and copy the whole file. Okay. Pyats testbed. Okay. So let's put a name for the testbed and let's say static CSRs. Okay. So CSR alias. Interesting, another piece, very interesting. And now I remember Kevin was talking to me about this. You can also here specify different connection types directly. So so you can specify like console, and you can specify SSH, and it can use either of those. My problem with this is that I look at the file and I don't exactly understand every single option, so maybe it's actually a good point to refer to docs to see what is the format. Let me try doing that really quick, if I will be able to succeed. If not, then we are just going to try to replicate this example directly. Okay, so there is testbed and topology information. Let's very quickly go through everything. Say offer YAML Okay, YAML. Okay, here they say that they're using YAML. Everything is an object, but object. Okay, this is not what I'm looking for though. Well, okay, device object, it has name, alias, type, testbed, interfaces, tagax, passwords, okay, tagax, connections, dict of connections, name dict. This is a description of connection methods, telnet, SSH, netconf. Nice. We are going to check all of those, I guess. You know what? Let me make sure that I also have telnet access to this device as well as a console. So telnet, this IP, Cisco. Okay, I do have access to via telnet, and I also should have an access via console. So I think it's telnet ES6i 3013. Yes. Wow, I still remember the port. That's pretty cool. I didn't think I would be able to remember the port. Nice. Okay. So my def is 3013 and my my CSR3 is 3003. Okay. Okay, so I need to understand the parameters of these connections. Management, protocol telnet, interface, no, link object. I need connection object. Okay, creating topology. There are two ways to create topology. You can create it programmatically or you can create YAML. Okay, so here as I'm using file, we are going to use file as well, testbed.yaml. Okay, so you have a name of your testbed and then like default top level parameters. Okay, here is more for example. So for connections, you specify the like connection name, and then you specify connection details, like here, protocol, port. Okay, so this is a console, by the way. Clean. Okay, this one I don't yet understand what this means. So it seems like you can do some pre-task and tasks after finishing tests. Dynamic device topology. Okay, I think there is enough information to get us started. So, okay, now I have some idea. I do not know what this abstraction means. Let me also try finding that. I don't see it here anywhere. No, okay. Then we'll just leave it like this. Okay. So connections, defaults, class. Okay, let's just go ahead and try changing it. So I have CSR def, which will not have any alias, or is ISXC type CSR 1000V, whatever that means. I have username Cisco and I have password Cisco. Then I have connections. I'm not sure what this means yet. I have console, which I'm going to change to like SSH, and I need my IP address here. So no port. Let's also have console. So console is going to be no, not here. So topology information. Okay, connections. Connection name, protocol IP port. Okay, so protocol IP port. Okay, so this will be 3013. This will be SXI. Protocol is telnet. Seems alright to me. So I do not know what this means though. Link flat type Ethernet. I'm going to comment this out yet. I am not sure what this means. So devices, testbed. Okay, so now we have to copy because I don't have Nexus here. And okay, and I have CSR3, which is 60. Everything is the same except of this. I think it's 26 or 24. It's 26. And the port is 003. Okay, this seems good to me. Okay, so I think we are done with inventory, so let's go ahead and look on the script. So there are two files. I'm pretty sure they are the same, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and try doing this on the interactive Python prompt. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do it. So I have to pip install IPython. Okay, so I should be able to say IPython. I don't like this. Python is correct version, but when I say IPython, okay, now it's correct. Okay, so now I have IPython here. Let's go ahead and do very similar to what I did. So, okay, I need to load the testbed. So I am going to say from ATS import topology. and then I'm going to say testbed is topology loader load, and I have to specify the directory, and I just realized that I did it incorrectly, so I have to go to the proper directory, intro. Here I have my testbed YAML, and let's go ahead and do this again. So I Python from ATS import topology and testbed, and I'm going to do this. Okay, testbed is equal to topology loader load and testbed YAML. Okay, it worked here, so let's do genie genie testbed. This will be we have to import from genie conf import genie. Interesting, so I don't have genie installed. So this pyats has pyats part and genie part. I don't know a lot about the differences. I think like pyats is mostly focused on the testing, and genie is more responsible for like configuring devices, parsing outputs, all that stuff. But again, I may be wrong. So I have to try installing pip install genie. Okay. Okay. Another attempt. So from ATS import topology, let's do pyats testbed will be topology loader load testbed.yaml, and now pyats testbed it will be genie. I have to import genie from genie conf import genie genie testbed genie init pyats testbed. Okay, it didn't crash. Perfect. So genie testbed devices. Okay, I have my two devices, two objects. Okay. Okay. So I get my object, which will be CSR3. Devices. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and do very similar stuff. So CSR def will be genie testbed devices CSR def. What? Why? Oh, okay. Yeah, this will be problematic. This is invalid Python variable name. Oops. Yes, the only way I will be able to get it is using get other, and I don't think it's a great idea. Let's change this. Yeah, this will be better because hyphen is not valid variable name in Python. And since I am doing a lot of tests here, I'm going also to say code dot no code okay. I will just have a snippet in like file or something. Okay, so from pyats import topology, from genie.conf import genie, and then pyats testbed will be topology loader load and the name of the file, which will be testbed.yaml. Okay, genie testbed will be genie from pyats testbed. And then I say csr_dev will be genie testbed devices csr_dev. Okay. What did I do now? No module name pyats. Oh yeah. And it was in it. Okay, so now I have this object csr_dev. Device objects. I can connect to the device. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, csr_dev connect. Unicorn is not able to identify the connection to be used. Please use Y option to specify the connection to use. Oh, okay. Alias given for this connection default false. Default. Connect to device via this. This describes the attribute YAML. Let's try okay. Okay, so far I don't know what I did wrong. Now it worked. Okay, so if you have several connections, you have to provide like something. If you don't, if you have only one, then it will connect it for you. Okay, so then it connects to the device. Initializing services. State. Okay. I also. Oh, and I hear in the device prompt. I think this alias is actually important since it's looking here. Wow, this regex expression is very big. It's huge. I think it got stuck because I don't have the same hostname. I'm not sure where I should put it, here or there. Yeah, okay, sometimes reading docs is actually super useful. Device object name is a host name in device alias. Okay, so I think I know what it means. So here should be csrdev. Here, and then I should have alias saying that it's csr_dev. And the CSR3 I don't remember. Okay, it's with big letters, so I think it should be here CSR3, and then alias should be the CSR3. Yeah, I don't know if it will work, but let's check it out. Okay. Now it's thinking. Hi. Now it doesn't have this object. What is going on here? Here they are named differently. Okay, Genie, testbed, devices, okay, here it worked actually. Then why do we need alias? Because I would like to call them differently. Okay, whatever. So csrdef will be okay, and I think this connected we already did, so it should be fine. No logging console, line console 0. Okay. Exact timeout 0. Okay. Now I also want to do the same with the different one, with CSR3, but here I have two connections and I would like to connect via console. So first we have to select the device. So it will be CSR3, it's Genie testbed, devices, CSR3. And let's try CSR3 connect via console. Nice. Perfect, it worked. Okay, so I'm connected. Okay, so already I see one interesting benefit. Using this framework, it's very easy. Well, it's very easy to connect via different connection methods. Cool. Okay, so I am right now, even though I specified here SSH in console, I selected that, okay, I would like to connect to this device via console and this device via SSH. Interesting, let's move on. And by default, it executes what? Some commands, like show version. Okay. Now we are going to say csrdef, and here I can actually do. Let's see what is available to me. So they offer find interfaces. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. So csrdef find interfaces. Did I miss some command? I have a feeling though that these interfaces. Oh, okay, I know what it is. These interfaces, they are taken from this file, and here I didn't specify anything. Okay, let's do csr def execute. I just want to execute some show commands. So let's say show platform software. Damn, I don't remember the commands. Show platform software QFP active statistic. I think it's show platform hardware. Statistic. Show platform hardware QFP active statistic. Statistic drop. Okay, statistic drop. Okay, I get an output, and so remember this device is connected by SSH. So I'm going to do the same thing for the CSR3, which is connected by a console, and it works just fine here too. Okay, cool. So okay, executing commands is not a big deal. Now here though, I'm not sure what is happening. Seems like incomplete playbook here, notebook. Let's go to Python file here. Okay, argparse, testbed, genie need, testbed devices. Abstract csr def. Yeah, I have to import this. So from genie.abstract import lookup. Yes. Okay. Now interfaces info. Okay. You know what? Before we are going to do that, I'm just going to try exploring what we have here. And I think I did it incorrectly. No, I did it fine. Lookup from interface. Okay, this though seems like abstract ops. I don't know, this thing doesn't work for me. You know what? Since I think it's important to always try to give back, I will just go ahead and raise an issue here for this demo as well, so that Kevin knows that maybe you know, some changes are needed here. Okay, good. So now this doesn't seem to work, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so abstract pyats topology device object packages. Let's see. This is weird. I get the same object back. Yeah, this is super weird. Okay. I guess I will need to find the Genie documentation. Okay, and I was looking at genie.abstract. Okay, let's also add this to our list of imports. Okay. Okay, now dear lookup, you should be able to find ops. Okay, I see here ops. Oh, I think I know. Damn it. You know, just because I did. This is a lot of magic to make it happen. So this ops appeared here on the same object abstract only after I imported ops in the global scope. Wow. This is a lot of magic to make this happen. Like you dynamically changing the attributes of the object. Okay. Okay, but this looks much better. So now I can say, you see, I say look up ops and I see a list of different features that I can look up. You know what? Let's try access lists. Oh, okay. Abstracted module is not callable. Can be summed up in 3 steps. Create an abstract object, instantiate an ops object with a specific device, and learn the feature. Okay, let's try this example here. Fine. Lookup from device and then abstract ops interfaces, interface. Okay. Okay, this worked. So now I should be able to say interfaces.learn. It seems my SSH connection timed out. And I will have to reconnect. Yeah. No, how do I exit this? It's still kill -9. So I think I can just copy the whole thing and try again. Test but attribute doesn't have. Okay, I'm connected to CSR3. Oh wow. Missing keys VRF1 address family. This may be a problem with an actual data. Okay. This particular thing complains that my VRF doesn't have any address family configured. So I guess this is also another good thing to open the bug for. So genie Python, genie GitHub. No. Here. Genie telemetry. Interesting, this Genie telemetry though seems to be is a library location containing all the user developer plugins. See what else is here. Jenkins report, Genie libs. Genie ops, Genie method parser. I guess it's a problem here in the parser. So I6C crash when VRF does not have any address family configured. I'm actually very interested in this Genie parser thing. It was recommended to me as kind of like replacement for the text FSM. And I'm very curious what is the format, what is the language used there. So let's go ahead and do vref definition, vref1 address family IPv4. And rerun this portion. And now it worked. So it did CLI, and now I should have interfaces, which is an object. I think interfaces info. Interesting. So here are my interfaces, gigabit 3. You know what? I'm going to copy all this data. Into the text editor and select that this is JSON. And so gigabit Ethernet 1 description, type, operation status, bandwidth, flow control, MAC address, auto negotiate, port channel, all that stuff. IPv4, counters. Okay, this is good. Now I think I have one interface which is in VLAN and should be gigabit 3.100, and I'd like to see if there is a VLAN here. So gigabit 3.100, CSR unique. I don't see VLAN here though. Okay, this could be a feature request. Pennies, but we do see though a lot of interesting data here. Yeah, VLAN is definitely missing. Okay, cool. I would like also to see, I don't think I have any routing configured on this box. Maybe static. Yeah, maybe I do have some static routes. Yeah, I do have some static routes. Let's see, there is static routing. Okay, so let's say routing should be equal, and let's consult our example. So I think and let's go ahead and try doing this. So static routes learn, and then static routes info. Okay, this worked. So now I should be able to say static routes info, and here I have information about static routes. So vref default, IPv4 route, next stop, blah blah blah. Okay, all this data, cool. Maybe access list. I don't remember what I have configured here, so let's go through the config here. So I have VRFs. Okay, this is default. I have netconf yank. I have some crypto IQv2 configuration. Okay, I have some QoS configuration. I have some static routes. I have some not configured. And I have a bunch of access lists. Not many, but some. And I have cache show configured. Okay, not a lot. Okay, let's try to find this data. So, dear abstract ops. Maybe there are actually docs for these objects. Ops developer guide. Okay, so these seem to describe if you are a developer and you want to create like a plugin or something, you basically can follow this procedure and create your own parser, I guess. I'm actually thinking to configure like EHRP, for example. I would like to see access lists. So access lists, and maybe I will configure routing like EHRP, and this is what I would like to see. Most interesting in platform. Let's try this. I think there is something interesting here. So show boot, maybe, and show proc CPU sorted. Let's do several. So show version will be show version learn and info. We'll do show boot. Show boot. And we are going to have show platform software. We can have software status actually. Show platform software status control processor brief. Yeah, so this will give us information about CPU. Show CPU RAM, let's see. And the same thing. Okay, let's go ahead and try this. So show version has no attribute learn. Aha. Okay, so here I use just parse. And here I say, well, I can get the version, platform, image ID, type as uptime, memory, chassis, license, serial number, number of interfaces, memory size, disk. Okay, so this is parsing of show version. Let's do show boot. Okay, so this is boot variable. Execute command show boot, and let's do show CPU RAM. Okay, so this should be parse. And here I get, this is an output from the command, and this is a structured data from this command. Okay, looks good to me. So this is getting structured data. You know what? I have an idea. I would like also to check if I can do the same thing via netconf. Maybe a little bit later. Okay, this is parsing of some show commands. I will keep this parked. I would like to do the same thing by netconf and then compare if I get the same structured data from both methods. Because if you think about it, if you do, it's actually pretty awesome. Because you can specify a number of different connection methods, connect using them, and regardless of the connection method, if it's CLI, if you're connected via console, or you're connected via netconf, you get the data in the same format. So you no longer like need to put netconf prefixes or whatever it is you're having. you have the same data format, which is pretty awesome, I think. If this is working how I expect it to work though. Okay, I also wanted to get access lists. So dear abstract ops ACL. I'm not sure why there is this double module notation. And we will have show access lists. So should be this. Okay, let's do it. What do you mean it's not defined? Oh, yes. Okay, so for the data that is not configurable like this, when you see somewhere show, it's actually you can learn and you can do info on objects that are configurable. Oh, okay, you don't have to. Why I have everywhere brackets? I just called .info. So look at this. I have a data and its configuration. Okay, so this is just configuration. This is not like statistics. Okay, and I'm going to copy this because I would like to see the same data via netconf. Okay, and I also would like to see ACL stats. So this will be show access lists, and then access lists will be parse. Okay. Don't I have any counters? Oh wow, everything is 0. That's not cool. Trying to make some counters appear. think I could generate traffic from virtual port group 0 and then it will hit not entries. Yeah, I guess I can try. So ping Cisco.com. I can't source. Oh no, I can source it from here. Okay, so now this should trigger the not entries. I'm doing something wrong. I don't see counters for access lists. I think I don't need to create one. I really want to see counters that they are reflected in the parsing. So IP access list extended test deny IP host 1048 1826 host 1048 1830 permit IP any, and then interface gigabit 1 IP access group. God, I still remember some commands. That's good. Okay, so show run interface gigabit 1. I do have show IP access group test in. So now if I go here and I ping I should not see anything, and I should be able to see counters. Okay, I see counters now. Perfect. So I should be able to do this again. Okay, I see access list test. Okay, and I see here stats matched packets 4. Interesting. And I'm going to also do the same thing we did before to see if it's reflected there. I don't think it should be reflected here because it doesn't really make sense. Interesting. I actually don't see here anything. Oh no, test is right here. And I actually see statistics here, even here. That's pretty cool. So some commands and match packets. Okay, cool. So I have access list statistics. I am going to copy this again because I want to connect via netconf and see the same statistics. Okay, this will require some changes. So here instead of connecting, you'll say connect via netconf, and we'll do the same thing. I have here netconf. Okay, let's do it. Okay, this didn't work. Disk IO error. Wow. And where is it crashing? Prompt toolkit. I have no idea what it is. Devices are deaf. Connection netconf does not have IP and or port specified. I don't know how to exit this. Oops. Okay. Let's go ahead. Well, let's check first that I have here everything. SSH netconf. Okay. Still reports disk error. Why it's doing that? Netconf, no such file or directory. I guess I will have to try to find it in docs. there are some interesting methods here, like here's the ones that I'll look at. There are ways to do password recovery here and restore it to default state. I think this is pretty cool. But unfortunately the dogs are extremely big. It's really hard to find what I'm looking for. For example, I'm looking for right now, how can I connect via netconf. I really want to, what did I do? I really want to connect via netconf, but I guess you can, but I do not know how. I think I know what that may be, but no, I do not know. Okay, let's park it for now. I will try to check with guys how can I connect via netconf. Let's see, we still have some time. Okay, so for now we kind of explored the default capabilities, like how you can get a lot of structured data from commands. So it's actually really interesting. For example, with access list, right? You both get configuration data and statistics. Another example was interfaces. At first, it crashed on doing getting information about interfaces just because there was problem in VRF, right? So when you specify one feature like access list or interfaces, it actually goes ahead and configures. It goes ahead and is doing show commands from like a couple of commands and parses them and puts them into a single data structure. This one is also pretty interesting. So it's basically a combination of couple of commands. Let me see if there is something else in the intro script that I was following, because I couldn't find right now how I can connect via netconf. So okay, we did this part, we did this learning part. Well, actually this is pretty much it. We went until the end. Okay, so we finished with this guide. Since we have some additional time, let's try going through some other things. So there is coding 101, 102, 103. Okay, this is just Python, parsers, YAML, advanced parsers. This is I don't think it's directly relevant to pyats, but it's actually quite interesting. I don't know about this library called metaparser. Oh, it's Genie metaparser. I like how this section starts. The lonely script. I really would like to understand this. How do they achieve the cross-platform um, data? So here they define schema. It says it can be any object, the neighbor, okay, VRF, and then let's say VRF name, neighbor, any address family, any optional. Okay, then you have a data example of data. Then there is a script which says how to parse this data. They create one big regular expression, neighbor address family is named regexp. Then using group dict they can extract all of this data. And then they try to insert data that is following the schema. Okay. Okay, I don't think there is a lot more here. Let me try to search for pyats in this organization. So there is pyats sample scripts. I think I don't have it open. This one we just went through. pyats is sample. We can check this out. Plugins. I don't think we really need plugins right now. Labs. This could DevNet Learning Lab. Oh, and there were learning labs. I really should have gone through those. pyats sample scripts. Okay, this is an example how to use this viral. Viral generate pyats. I'm more interested in the script directly. So let's say pyats example. Let's go ahead and see how the script looks like. Check topology. dot topology parser AE test main. Oh, test main var args. This seems like a complicated test. I think for now, like from what I saw, the most interesting piece specifically for me is that it's very easy to manipulate this device regardless if it's like SSH or console connection, which is like if you're using something like, I don't know, Gen3, while if and G, whatever, right? It's most of the time you get access to console, but not from you don't really get access from your computer to the device with IP connectivity, right? Unless you actually configure on that machine where you are running this virtual app proper bridge to get an IP addresses. So for me, this part actually is also pretty important as well, because for the project that I'm doing at work, sometimes we don't know if the device is available for SSH or not, because someone can mess it up and you would like to return it to like default state. Okay, this example, I mean, the script is just too complex for me to write it right now. I would need to know more about the oops, and I think my mouse just died. Oh no, it's fine. Let me go ahead and go to developer.cisco.com. I will have to log in. I would like to check out the pyats lab. So I need go to learning tracks, I guess. Yeah, learning labs, Cisco tracks, to labs, and then pyats. I think there was some lab. I think it's just not published yet. Cisco DevNet pyats labs intro to Genie. Okay, if it's not published, then we will not do it. Okay guys, I I actually need to get back to those guys from the PyTS team to check how to do things like connecting my netconf and stuff like that. So, and I think since it's already late, even though it's not 3 hours, we can wrap up for today. I do not know, just to start showing you more, because starting writing tests in PyTS, even though I don't fully understand everything, doesn't make sense. I would need to go through like big part of docs, but it should not be done on stream. It will be super boring. For now, let's just do summary. Maybe you have some questions, let me know in the chat. So we started investigating PyTS. It seems like very feature-rich framework. The main use case for it is testing of the network and different features, and if I don't know, if like number of routes, interfaces, statistics, anything you want really. But there are also pieces that can be used for something else, like parsing, which is I'm pretty sure the idea is to get the data in platform agnostic way. So maybe for the next time, if I will find out like how to do netconf, and if I will spin up my Genet3 lab with like Nexus, to see that yes, it's indeed seems to be the same between like CSR and Nexus. That would be pretty cool. So we saw that here they have built-in capabilities to specify multiple connections. I think this is pretty cool. So we saw here for CSR3, you could specify SSH, you can specify console, and you can connect via any method, and your look and feel on the framework will be the same. That part is pretty awesome. We saw some built-in parsers, and there are many, right? So there are many different parsers, and I don't think I will be able to scroll anymore. But like access lists, OSPF, static routing, prefix lists, some show commands, all of that stuff, there are already parsers pre-built. So you can just in Python specify, oh, I would like to get structured data about OSPF or some other feature. You do that, it runs a bunch of commands with their parsers and returns to you a single dictionary with the parsed data. So that's something that got my attention. I think it's very important that it was not doing that per command, it was doing it per feature. Okay, so you just selected OSPF, and then it would do show IP OSPF interfaces, show IP OSPF neighbor, show IP OSPF database, stuff like that, and return to you one single dictionary. I don't think anyone else is really doing that. Like combining and outputs from multiple commands, maybe like up to 5 or 10, presenting it to you in one format. So that part is interesting. I don't think we did something else. So I was just getting a structured data for access lists, for the show version, show platform software, for interfaces. I think I mentioned already interfaces, didn't I? Whatever. I was also trying to do connection via netconf. It didn't work out. Maybe I'm specifying something wrong. I don't know. I would need to check this, guys. So yeah, with that, if I don't see any questions in the chat, so I would like to thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm not sure if that was very informative, the stream, or not. But as I told you, I'm trying to learn technologies on the fly, so yeah, don't consider this as a like course, it's more like a journey. So thank you, and I wish you an easy working week, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Take care, guys. Bye.